The roar of the engine was a primal scream, a symphony of controlled chaos that Marc Marquez understood better than anyone. It wasn't just the sound. It was the vibration that thrummed through his bones, the G-forces that pressed him into the seat, the blur of the track that became a tunnel of pure, unadulterated speed. For years, this was his natural habitat, a place where instinct reigned supreme, where the thin line between glory and catastrophe was not just walked, but danced upon with a reckless abandon that earned him 8 world championships. They called it many things: aggression, raw talent, a daredevil spirit. But for Marc, it was something deeper, something woven into the very fabric of his being: a gangster blood. It wasn't about malice or ill intent. It was about an unyielding, almost feral drive to dominate, to push boundaries, back to find the absolute limit, and then, just for a moment, to step beyond it. This instinct, honed on dirt tracks and refined on Grand Prix circuits, was his greatest strength and at times his most dangerous adversary. It thrived in the heat of the moment, predicting the unpredictable, reacting before thought could even form. He was 32 now, a seasoned veteran, but on the bike, in those fleeting milliseconds of decision, he still rode with the unburdened ferocity of a 17-year-old, a ghost of his younger self whispering, "Push harder, go faster, win." Yet, the whispers of the past often led to tumbles, to the scraped leathers and the bitter taste of DNF. Coda, Jerez, the scrappy British Grand Prix where a pre-red flag crash underscored the fine line he often crossed. These were the moments where the gangster blood, unchecked, had demanded too much, where the instinct had overridden the calculated risk. He knew this. He felt it in the ache of his bones, in the quiet moments of reflection after the adrenaline had faded. The challenge, then, wasn't to eradicate this instinct, for it was the very essence of his genius, but to tame it, to harness its raw power and direct it with surgical precision. And that's where Ducati entered the narrative, not as a leash, but as a sophisticated guidance system. They helped me to control myself and to control my instincts. Marc had admitted, a rare moment of vulnerability from a man who often seemed invincible. This wasn't about slowing down. It was about attacking in the correct moments, a subtle but profound shift in philosophy. The results were undeniable. An unbeaten streak of 3 consecutive sprint and Grand Prix victories, 2 of which came at tracks historically considered his weak points. The Unforeseen triumphs: Qatar, Mugello, Assen, Qatar. The desert night, the floodlights illuminating the asphalt, the tension palpable. Marc Marquez arrived with doubts: a new bike, a new team, a new chapter. He wasn't expected to dominate. Not here, not so soon. But something clicked. It wasn't just speed. It was an extra concentration, a heightened awareness that allowed him to pick his battles, to conserve when necessary, and to unleash the full force of his aggression precisely when it would yield maximum impact. He didn't just win, he dominated, sending a chilling message to the paddock. For that reason, the most special one was Qatar, because it was the first circuit where I had some doubts, and there I was super fast, and I had that extra concentration to attack in the correct moments. It was the first true testament to the controlled chaos, the gangster blood flowing not wildly, the lasher, but through carefully chosen veins of attack. Then came Mugello, a cathedral of speed, a track that demanded a perfect blend of power and precision. Again, not a traditional Marquez stronghold, yet he conquered it. The victory wasn't just about crossing the finish line first. It was about the subtle dance he performed throughout the race, managing his tires, reading the ebb and flow of the pack, and then, in the final laps, unleashing an unassailable charge. It was a masterclass in strategic aggression, a testament to the new Marc Marquez, still the predator, but now one who waited for the precise moment to strike. Assen, the Cathedral of Speed, presented the ultimate test of this newfound control. The weekend began in disaster. 2 heavy crashes in Friday practice, the kind that would shake the confidence of lesser riders. The bike was a mess, his body was bruised, and his qualifying on Saturday morning was far from ideal, slotting him into 4th on the grid. The old Marc might have pushed harder, risked more, trying to claw back lost time, perhaps leading to another crash. But this new Marc, guided by Ducati and his evolving self-awareness, held back just enough. He felt the pain, the stiffness in his muscles, the ghost of impact still lingering. Yet, when the lights went out for the Saturday sprint race, something primal took over. But it was a controlled primal. He didn't explode off the line in a desperate lunge. Instead, he found his rhythm, picked off riders one by one, his movements precise, his lines impeccable. He wasn't just fast, he was efficient. He won the sprint, a victory born not of raw speed alone, but of sheer, unyielding mental fortitude. Sunday's Grand Prix was a repeat performance, a double victory that cemented his dominance and underscored the profound shift in his approach. Today, Sunday at Assen, was not the perfect start like yesterday, but I had the rhythm to overtake Marc Marquez, to overtake Pecco Bagnaia, and to lead the race. He wasn't just reacting, he was orchestrating. The gangster blood was still there, the desire to win absolute, but it was now a sharp, precise instrument, wielded with the wisdom of experience, the brotherly bond and the public scrutiny. The narrative of Marc's resurgence was intertwined with another compelling storyline, the dynamic with his younger brother, Marc Marquez. This season had seen them frequently battling at the sharp end of the grid, a sibling rivalry played out on the world's biggest stage. Their 1-2 finishes became almost commonplace, an astonishing 14 times out of 20 races, 10 sprints, 10 Grands Prix, with Marc winning all but one of their direct confrontations, the sole exception being Alex's victory in the Silverstone sprint. After the Italian Grand Prix at Mugello, where Marc led Alex across the finish line by nearly 2 seconds in another 1-2, a murmur began to ripple through the paddock and among the pundits. Critics, with their ever-present magnifying glasses, began to question whether Alex was holding back when racing his elder brother. Did the familial bond supersede the competitive drive? Was Alex, consciously or subconsciously, pulling his punches against the rider he had idolized since childhood? When Alex faced other riders like Francesco Bagnaia, his aggression seemed unbridled. Why not against Marc? The whispers grew louder, evolving into outright accusations. Marc, ever the protector of his own and fiercely loyal to his family, bristled at the insinuation. He expressed his anger publicly, defending Alex's racing prowess and pointing to his own formidable defensive methods. "I don't want to say a lot of things because maybe in the next race I will do," he had stated, a hint of his old fire, but quickly reined in. But on that Sunday, those were my weak points, and always I try to focus to improve my weak point. Veteran riders turned pundits. Michael Laverty and Sylvain Guintoli weighed in, offering their expert judgment and shedding light on the complexities of MotoGP racing at its pinnacle. Laverty, with 37 MotoGP races under his belt, dismissed the notion of Alex holding back due to sentimentality. He explained the sheer physical and technical demands of the modern MotoGP machine. A bigger and faster MotoGP bike, compared to a World Superbike machine, gives Alex no opportunity to make a move against Marc, Laverty asserted. Guintoli, a regular point scorer in MotoGP during the mid-2000s, added another critical dimension: aerodynamics. With the aero load, the bikes become hard to turn. It is much harder to sneak in at a high speed. The bikes just want to go in a straight line. I don't think he had an opportunity to pass. The Assen weekend further underscored this brutal reality. The Marquez brothers finished 1-2 in the sprint race, but in Sunday's Grand Prix, the narrative took a cruel turn. Alex, pushing hard, suffered an accident with Pedro Acosta, resulting in a broken hand. It was a stark reminder that in MotoGP, the line between pushing the limit and disaster is infinitesimally thin. The Phoenix rises, Assen's redemption. Friday had been a nightmare. 2 massive crashes. He was clearly in pain. His qualifying on Saturday morning reflected the physical toll. The paddock buzzed with speculation. Guintoli knew better. When you think he's down, he fights back. What a race he did. Unbelievable. The Saturday sprint race was a masterclass. He didn't have pole, didn't have the perfect start, but he had the rhythm, the focus, the will to win. He crossed the line first, a defiant fist pump to the sky. Sunday's Grand Prix was the ultimate validation. He hunted down Alex, then Bagnaia, took the lead and held it. His first Dutch TD win since 2018, a triumph of mind over matter. Gangster blood flowing with purpose now. Sachsenring, the king's pre-owned den. From 2013 to 2021, he was unbeaten here. It's his pre-owned den. Sachsenring, I will try to attack. I will try to take 37 points, he said. But he adds, if somebody is faster, they are faster. This isn't surrender. This is strategy. The gangster blood still yearns, but the champion in him calculates. Last year's Sachsenring, the brutality unveiled. A year-old Gresini, outside the top 10. Chaos at lights out. He clashed with Morbidelli, his airbag deployed. He couldn't breathe right, but he didn't pit. He didn't stop. He said, now I push. And he did. With a bulky suit, battered body, and sheer fire, he went from outside the top 10 to second. He wasn't riding. He was waging war. Whatever, even he crashes or rolls over multiple times, if he can stand up and walk, then it's game over for everyone. Until those crashes are warm-up sessions for him to heat his body language, and his temperament are beyond anyone's imagination. Sachsenring, the king's pre-owned den, is coming. We are about to see another 37 points into his bag. Or perhaps a masterclass in controlled aggression, a champion channeling his gangster blood not into chaos, but into an unstoppable surgical force. The world waits.